What is going on, guys? Sam Board here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be taking you through a full day of eating. So if any of you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I've been in a cutting phase for the last like 12 weeks. So in the first 10 weeks I have dropped around 11.5 kilograms. I'm still dropping now. Took a bit of a break over the festive period, so we've kind of held weight for about 2 weeks. I'll stick up a picture on the screen now of my transformation so far. So that's a 10-week difference and around 11.5 kilo drop. So I'm going to be taking you through exactly what I've been eating day to day to drop this weight. So meal one is my pre-workout meal. So it's around 9 o'clock now. I train at 10 o'clock, so it's an hour before I start training. So what I'm going for today is eggs. So I've got 4 eggs here. I've got some veg here, so it's peppers, mushrooms and garlic, and then potatoes. So I've got 225 grams of potato. So I'm going to stick the exact calories and macros of that up on the screen as well. But this is a typical pre-workout meal for me when I train in the morning. So we're going to whip that up now and see what we got. So guys, little tip when cooking eggs is keeping it off the heat and then putting it back on and taking it off. So I make sure it's all mixed, nothing is sticking to the pan, and then we go back on the heat. Maybe like 10 seconds and then back on for another stir again. So this way, don't burn shit to the pan when you're cutting and you're hungry. The last thing you want to be doing is losing a whole egg on the pan. So, pro tip, Alright guys, so there we have it, meal one, which like I said is my pre-workout meal. Sauce of choice for this is sriracha. So with sauces, I don't actually track my sauces, I just stick to low cal options. So like this is stupidly low calorie, and then I just keep the amounts pretty consistent. So the last thing you want to be doing is, as the calories drop, just adding more and more sauce and kind of counteracting the changes that you make into your diet. But that's meal one. I can see a heap of volume in there for the amount of calories it is. So that's kind of the approach we take when calories get this low, is just go for higher volume meals. It fills you up more, leaves you a bit more satisfied. But we're going to get this down. We're going to head to B1. I got pool day today, and yeah, just take you through the whole day. But this is meal one.
Go down together. They'll say you could do anything. They'll say that I was clever.
So guys, I've got a couple shakes with me today as well, which I'm going to go through. So we've got the pre-workout, intra-workout and post-workout shakes with us right now. So firstly, for the pre-workout, I have got 2 scoops of Pride by EHP Lab. So that is just the pre-workout of my choice. So it's up to you if you want to take and eat. This will just help me through my workout, especially when I'm in a deficit. Give me a bit more energy, improve focus, improve pump, and just give me a better session overall. Then in the second shake, my blue shaker, this is going to be my intra-workout shake. So I'm going to sip this throughout the workout. So in there I've got 2 scoops of Beyond EAAs by EHP Labs. My favorite flavor is the Fijian pineapple, but today I've got the lemon sherbet, which is a close third after the peach snaps, I think it is. And then in that I've got a scoop of glutamine, so that's going to help my digestion, a scoop of creatine, which is going to help with my training performance, and then I've got 2 grams of salt. So just any table salt or pink salt or anything like that, just put it in there. The reason I do this is because you need both sodium and water to enable to shuttle carbohydrates and fully absorb carbohydrates. And the higher you can get both of these, so the higher you can get your water and your sodium levels, within reason of course, the better we can shuttle these carbohydrates and the better we can absorb carbohydrates. So most people hugely undereat on their salt and hugely underdrink on their water. So you can most likely push yours up quite a bit. For kind of reference, most of my guys will be drinking 5 litres of water a day, and most of my girls will be drinking around 3 litres of water a day, obviously dependent on the size of the individual as well. And then for salt, so I will put 10 grams of salt usually in my rice bowl in the morning, or on any of my carbohydrates, so like my potatoes. So I've got 3 potato meals throughout the day that will have 10 grams of salt on it, and then I heavily salt all my meals on top of that as well. So that's just a reference intake of what I take. But yeah, that's pre, intra and post. I've got Isopep by EHP Labs, and I just stick that in the bottom there just so I can get it nice and easy at the end of the gym. But big session inbound, let's do this.
Go down together. They'll say you could do
Hey Michelle.
Hello.
Alright, big session with James about to go down. Today we got pool.
Paris to get away from your parents. You look so proud standing there with.
Right guys, so we're back at the apartment for meal 2, which for me is going to be my post-workout meal. So for this, every single day is pretty much the same. So I go for a rice-based cereal, so Cocoa Pops. Rice-based just because it's easy to digest. You know, there's minimal fat in Cocoa Pops. Plenty of carbohydrates that's going to spike my glycogen, just because glycogen stores are going to be depleted after the session. So that's the reason behind the Cocoa Pops. So any cereal that you get on with, really. And then we go for a scoop of Isopat. So I'm going to have that with 100 grams of fruit in a smoothie. So with ice, so again, when you're cutting, you want volume. So if you just put it in a shaker and shake it up, it's pretty thin, it doesn't fill you up very much. So if you blend it with some ice, a bit of frozen strawberries, and it's pretty good. So 100 grams of frozen strawberries. So I go for 250 ml of water in there. And then Isopat by EHP Labs. So my go-to flavors are the vanilla and the strawberry. I highly recommend getting an isolate over a concentrate just because it's a lot easier to digest. A lot of people struggle to digest lactose, including myself. And the lactose content in pretty much any whey protein isolate is minimal, especially compared to a whey protein concentrate. So I can't really get on very well with whey protein concentrates, I never have, but isolates go down an absolute treat. And then on the Cocoa Pops, I either go with coconut milk or almond milk, just because it's very low calorie compared to like a typical lactose cow milk. And again, it doesn't have any lactose in, so it's nice and easy to digest. And yeah, that is my post-workout meal. Like I said, it's pretty much the same every single day. I'm going to get the calories up on the screen for you guys as well. But I'm just going to dig into this. And I'll see you at meal 3. Right guys, so we got meal number 3, which is chicken, potato and green veg. I'll stick up the amounts and calories on the screen again. Eaten half of it already, just because I'm literally dying. I've just done 40 minutes cardio. So typically between meals, I just do cardio, client work, client check-ins, and just edit content and stuff really. So I've just finished my 40 minutes cardio then. Typical meal timing, I space out between 2 to 3 hours between meals, purely just to spread out your protein intake throughout the day. So just as a reference, you should aim for around 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass. So if you're around 200 pounds, then aim for around 200 grams of protein per day and spread that out evenly throughout the day in either 4, 5 or 6 servings, depends on how many meals you want to eat throughout the day. So the more we can spike it, the better really. So if you can go for 6 meals, that would be ideal. That's typically how much I eat per day. And the reason you want to be doing this is just to spike your muscle protein synthesis throughout the day. So if muscle protein synthesis isn't high, then muscle protein breakdown's high, which is what we want to avoid. And this is what a lot of people typically do. They have a bit of protein in the morning, then they might go the majority of the day without having any, then they have it all backed up throughout the day, and they have like 150 grams in a serving, which is absolutely pointless. The majority of the day, muscle protein breakdown's high. All it takes is that 40-50 gram serving to spike muscle protein synthesis, so you want to be spreading it out, and it will kind of look like this. Muscle protein synthesis will spike, it will dip down, 2 to 3 hours later you spike it again, and that's what we're trying to achieve throughout the day. So meal number 3 is going down now. Chicken, potato, green veg, and I have 170 grams of pineapple there as well, and that's meal 3. Alright guys, so on to meal number 4 of the day. So I'm going to go for chicken, peppers, garlic. I'm frying that up now with some bolognese sauce. So typical sauces I put with my chicken are things like salsa, bolognese sauce like this one here, so low fat one, so super low calorie, and it just makes the meal again a bit nicer. And the carb sauce I'm going for here is going to be rice cakes with 30 grams of this low calorie jam that I've gone and found. So that is absolutely perfect there. And apologies for the plastic plates, we're staying in Airbnbs and stuff at the moment. I wouldn't usually live like this, but this is meal number 4. But yeah, easy. Gonna get that down now. Food's getting pretty low for me at the moment, and to be honest, like, yeah, I said like we're 10 kilos down, 11 kilos down, but like I was saying at the beginning of the video, the majority of that weight was lost on a lot more calories than this. And I don't want people watching this video and being like, oh, okay, I'm going to take what he's eating because that's going to help me drop 10 kilos, because it's very individual based. Certain people I'd put on this amount of calories and they'd actually put on weight. Obviously certain people might lose weight, this could be the maintenance calories for certain people. For me, I'm quite heavy now compared to how I used to be, so I can eat a lot more. You know, it takes a lot more food just to even maintain my body weight. So 2,500 calories is fuck all food for me, to be honest. Done 40 minutes cardio earlier as well, and the weight is literally just falling off me. But whenever you watch these full day of eatings, I know a lot of people will watch it and they'll be like, I need to eat like this guy to be like this, or this guy to be like this. You know, if you're watching someone's 5,000 calorie a day challenge or whatever, or that's what they eat daily, they're probably a much heavier guy. They might have a lot more muscle mass than you, and if you ate that amount of food, you might just get fat. And same as this, like if you eat the same food as me, you might not drop 10 kilos, you might put on 10 kilos, you might put on kilos, you might lose a bit, you might just maintain where you are. So it depends on you, but just take ideas from the food sources and then kind of adapt it to your own calorie and macro goals. So guys, little tour of the apartment. The inside is literally what you've seen so far. It's a tiny little studio. Like I said, we're living out of Airbnbs at the moment, but this is our balcony and our view of Dubai. But I thought I'd give this video a bit of time talking about how I actually go about losing the weight that I do, because like I was saying in the previous kind of section of the video, you know, it's very individual dependent on what you should be doing with your calories, what you should be doing with your cardio, what you should be doing with your steps to actually drop the weight. So I aim for around 1 kilogram per week, which is about 1% of my body weight. So obviously if you're a lot lighter than me, I wouldn't aim to drop 1 kilogram per week, but anywhere between like half a kilo to 1 kilo is absolutely sound. When you're in a deficit, what you got to remember is you're not going to be building muscle. It's about maintaining muscle in that point. So that whole time you're in a deficit, we're not even looking to build muscle. So you want to be in and out of this phase as quickly as possible, which is why I look to drop the weight so fast. So like I said, I'm like 11 kilos down in 10 weeks or something at the moment. But the way you'll go about it, you need to just make sure there's consistency across your whole energy balance. Like your energy balance is your calories in versus the calories that you burn throughout the day. So if you're consistent with what you eat, so you've seen today my calorie and macros, I will consistently eat that every single day. Give yourself an expenditure goal. So for me, I have a step goal and a cardio goal. So at the moment I'm doing 40 minutes cardio a day and I'm doing 8,000 steps a day, and that is consistent every single day. Now it's important you take measurements. So, you know, I weighed myself this morning. I was 98.1 kilos on the dot. Now in a few days time, I'll weigh myself again. If I've not dropped the weight that I want to drop, which is going to be about maybe half a kilo, I am closer to the end of this cut now, so maybe not as much, but if my weight's not moving in the way I want it to, I can now make changes to my energy balance. So I can either pull my calories down, push my cardio up, or push my steps up. The problem most people have is they got no consistency across their energy balance, so they don't know what calories they're eating, or it's just all over the place every day. They don't have a set cardio goal, they just do it when they feel like it. Don't have a set step goal, so that when their weight loss stalls, it's like, well, what the fuck do I do now? You know, and they just hit this wall and they're staying in a deficit. Well, it's not even a deficit because they're not dropping weight for months and months and months, and wonder why they've hit this wall. But you just need to be consistent with everything, and then it's very easy to make the changes. So yeah, that's a quick one on basically how I drop this weight and how you should go about doing it yourself. But this is our view of Dubai. Out in Al Barsha, a bit out from the city centre here, like a 20-minute drive, but nice views, and it's pretty chill here. Got a nice pool area as well. We're here for the next week, and then we're bouncing off somewhere else for a week, and then we got somewhere else for a month, and then I might stay in Dubai, might go somewhere else, we'll see. But that is for a future video. See you at meal 5 anyway. Okay guys, so on to meal number 5, which is another nice boring meal, chicken and veg, and that is literally it for this meal, just because I've got 2 meals left and I want the nicer, bigger meal before bed, which we'll get to obviously before I actually go to bed, so in a couple hours from now. But this is literally just chicken and veg. The sauce I'm going to use with the chicken is salsa. So like I said, I've got salsa here. And just quickly how I meal prep and stuff, guys. So I literally would just cook up 2 kilos or 1 kilo of chicken at once in the oven, and then I will just shovel that in the Tupperware in the fridge. Veg, I will just buy like frozen stuff and then cook 1 kilo of it up at once, and again just put it in the fridge, just so it's really easy to go back and forth to. And my carbohydrates, like so either rice or potato, I usually cook it on the day, just because I prefer it cooked on the day. Well, to be fair, I've got potato cooked up in the fridge, so you can do that if you want. But that's typically just how I meal prep my stuff, just because you don't want to be cooking everything from fresh every meal. You know, as nice as that would be, when you're eating 6 meals a day, you would literally have no time to do anything else. But in this meal, we've got 150 grams of cooked chicken breast, and then 100 grams of green veg, and then just a couple tablespoons of salsa. So I'm going to whip that up and I'll show you what we get in a sec. So guys, meal number 5, like we said, chicken, veg, salsa. Pretty boring, pretty old school, but like when calories are lower, you can't really improvise as much. I still get my Cocoa Pops, I still get oats later, and good stuff like that, to be fair, so I can't really complain. But this is meal 5. I'll get this down me now, and I'll see you in 2 hours for meal 6. So guys, meal number 6, which is the final meal of the day, probably my favourite meal of the day as well. So we've got oats, blueberries, low calorie syrup, so literally I think 5 calories per serving, which is absolutely nothing, and then a scoop of isolate. So I'm going to blend that up in a minute as well, but for now I'm just whipping these oats up and I'll show you what we got in a sec. Apologies for the mess in here. Amy's been filming all day, so she'll get round to that later. So 60 grams of oats, like 250 ml of coconut milk with it. Again, you know, the milk doesn't contain lactose, so I can digest it, and it's low calorie. So again, it's one of those things that I don't track, so I'm not going to track that sauce, I'm not going to track the milk, but I just keep it as low cal as I can and keep it consistent. So when I make the changes to my other food, it actually makes changes because everything's consistent.
Not much space, is there? There we go.
Alright, next time we're getting a 1 bed. The studio.
It's not practical.
Practical, it's not big enough for me. First, so Hershey syrup, 0 sugar, 5 calories per tablespoon. So, coat it in that. 50 grams of blueberries. The reason I go with blueberries is because they are one of the lowest calorie fruits for the volume I get. So you can see that 50 grams there. You'll see the calories on the... Oh, I died. It's going to be about 50 grams. I might put on a few more. So the scales died, so I kind of got to guesstimate that then. It's about 50 grams. But you see on the screen the calories of the blueberries. For what you get there, volume wise, again, you get a lot of bang for your buck. But we got the blender going now. Do you know what? I'm actually going to put a bit of this syrup in there and see what that tastes like. So it's going to have maybe chocolate and strawberry. So it could be nice, could ruin this shake, but we shall see. If it bangs. So this is strawberry isopapped. First time I've ever put a squirt of that 0 cal sugar in it.
What do you think?
I mean, it tastes good. Don't know if it's any better than it tastes without the syrup, but give it a try. But that is meal 6, guys. So we've got the blueberries, oats and shakes. So I'm going to put the full calorie and macro breakdown on the screen for you now. So like I said, take the food ideas but manipulate the calories based on your own goals and you as an individual. But if you guys like this video, then make sure you hit that like button, and if you want to see more, we've got plenty more content just like this coming to the YouTube channel, so make sure you hit subscribe as well. Cheers guys, see you in the next video.